shame of life. My shallow mind is just a sign of your game of life.
That's right, theme song. That means it's time for theme week. And today, it's going to kick off shame. Shame can come from a lot of places. It can be immediate. You do something, you feel ashamed of it. We could be ashamed of other people's actions. For our purposes here, I'm just going to talk about moments in my life where shame was a key component and how it affected me. And I'm not going to bog down the whole thing. If I finish talking about what I'm going to talk about, we'll move on to something else. So shame, one of the earliest shames, and this is one that I wasn't ashamed of at the time, but as I get older, I'm more and more ashamed. All right, in a nutshell, the bookmobile. Everybody knows about the bookmobile. And when I was little, it's like, I don't even think I was in kindergarten yet. Maybe I was in kindergarten. Sometimes the people from around the apartment complex would pick up books from other people and bring them to the bookmobile for them. You know, because it was like a little neighborhood, the apartments. And then one day I thought, well, you know, how do we know they're going to take them to the bookmobile? What if they throw them in the lake? I said, well, the best way to find out is to go around and collect them and throw them in the lake and see if anything happens. Oh, so, and the bibliophile in me is just aghast at telling you this. But so me and my friend, Bubba, his name was actually Bubba, a little blonde-haired, long-haired redneck kid whose parents used to always fight, and he always had crusty snot. Anyway, we both went around to all the apartments asking, did they have any books to go back to the bookmobile? And once we had went to all the apartments that we knew the people or felt comfortable knocking on their door, we went to the edge of the lake out behind the apartments and threw them all in. And I remember a buzz being created over it later on. People going around, what are all those books doing in the lake? And there's just all these ruined books floating in the lake. There's 10 or 20 of them. But that's shameful. It's very shameful. I didn't feel ashamed at the time, though, because to me it was an experiment. You know, I figured the bookmobile would just have more books. Here's a really shameful one that I felt shameful immediately. This is really shameful. But it changed the way I behave and think. So my sister and I, this had to have been first grade, second grade, 6 or 7 years old, something like that. We're walking down the street, and I used to get attacked by dogs a lot, because in Louisiana, people just let their dogs run around. Oh, here we go. Let's just get through it. So I'm walking down the street with my sister, and I hear a dog running towards us. And immediately, without thinking, I grabbed the nearest thing and hid behind it. Well, that nearest thing happened to be my sister. So I grabbed my little sister and hid behind her from this dog. So essentially, you know, I was grabbing her and putting her in between me and the dog. And I can't believe that happened. And I was just so ashamed of myself. And, at that young age, I started asking myself, like, you know, how do I know how I'm going to behave in certain situations? That can't ever happen again. And I guess other people have those. I've had other things like that. Like if there's a car crash, what do? Well, now you immediately go and help the person. You know, who needs help? What can I do? But initially, when we first encounter those things, we might be paralyzed or run away or shut down. And that's normal. I don't know if anybody is born noble and courageous. Maybe they are. Maybe there's some 5-year-olds running around like running into fires to rescue kittens. I would do that now because I've been tested throughout my life and I've been in certain situations and I was either ashamed or possibly proud or pleased with my behavior. Tends to go more often that way when, shocking shock happens and I just act. And, for the most part, I'm pleased about that. But there's more shame to come, folks. This week is Shame Week. Whoo, boy. Stay with me, everybody. All right, bye.